Story 41. A few ideas. Felix, Pietra Nemts, and the stupid KGB guy. And speaking of KGB guys, other KGB people. Um, to finish with Felix quickly, I mentioned it in the previous episode. I was sent, as repeated a few times, to various resorts where there wasn't much going on. All people would go to take salts, waters with awful taste on account of the minerals within they were supposed to make you better. And my main job was to go and listen to the ailments of these people, help them from sometimes from one hotel to another, translate whenever necessary and whenever I could. The way I started to learn some Hebrew was through this, through these periods, because many times I was dealing with Jewish people who, if not most, an important number of them had no English or French, which were my languages. They had Russian and Hebrew. So some Russians, здравствуйте, хорошо, давай, иди сюда, whatever. More, much more, but anyway. And then some Hebrew became necessary. ניפגש מחר בבוקר. נסיעה טובה. ברוכים הבאים לרומניה. Whatever. And much more in that case. In Felix, near the border with Hungary, I enjoyed the TV stations they had across, and this is where I became a fan of Jesus Christ Superstar. Loved it, fascinated by it. Stays in my mind the place where I first saw it and listened to it. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? When do we ride into Jerusalem? When do we? It seems to me a strange thing, mystifying, that a man like you should lose his time on women of a kind. Yes, I can understand. Never mind. I don't think I knew it all, but large parts were. And my friends would suffer on account of this preference, because I would start singing to them often. Even with AT&T I was doing that. Perhaps that's why they crushed the Europe team. So quite a few young girls, attractive, but with boyfriends, engaged. If the boyfriend was not there, he was in town, in Oradea. I had to pay a girl with cigarettes, rather, to have sex. The first prostitute I ever. I mean, I'm not sure if she was really Chifriman, a professional doing this all the time or just once in a while. It doesn't matter. But it was my first affair of this kind. Affair, business, transaction, sexual. Transaction as well. In Pietra Nemts, when again somebody from Israeli tour complained about something, I told the reception, but they didn't have the usual professional reaction of fixing the problem. But they did something else. They called a guy who in the morning took me to an office and said, the communist propaganda club. What side are you on? You're on their side, our side. Who's paying you? I mean, you're a patriot or what? You couldn't get angry with these people. it's an exaggeration, but they could shoot you. They say, attack me or whatever. Not really, but they had the power which they abused. But I said about this back home, and it's one of those situations where you can see how it clashed. On one side, you had to do business, you had to satisfy customers, and so that they come back, and then you don't have a bad publicity, and not only they don't come back, but other people don't come back because they hear what happens, and if they complain, then the secret police comes in. There were others who came to ask questions, and in some way I'm proud to say that I never said anything bad about anyone, except in just one case. I said, this guy, how about him? What do you know? Excellent, wonderful. Even if I knew he was no good, his English was lousy, he had no interest in anything except the money, and he was no good. All the time when I knew such a thing, I would say that's sensational. And all the time. In just one case, the one case I mentioned, it was a situation with the head of the amphitheater hotel in Olymp. So that guy I was here, and he was, I just point, I can't show you, I mean, he was, so there's like, I realized that this time it's like the sting of a mosquito on the skin of an elephant. He doesn't feel it if the mosquito tries 1,000 years. So even if we had that joke with the mosquito coming at the house of the elephant, and his lady elephant or Miss Elephant at home, why? I'm John for the disco, something like that. It's an absurd, stupid joke. And I was John, and the elephant was that guy. And I said he drinks or something, because he drank, and anyway he did a series of nasty things. I didn't mention, I only mentioned just one thing, and then as I said, he was so connected that the mosquito could buzz, and I felt, well, if he has a bit more than a sting of a mosquito, it's a bite of a crab or whatever, so much the better, because anyway these guys might need some shakedown, some impulse to change their ways. I mean, they anyway abuse power, and they have it all. Those things, all animals are equal, but some are much more equal than others, and these were the ones who acted, if they were in charge of a property, a big hotel, they acted like this is there. In theory, you had everybody had the property, but in practice there were just a few who controlled this. I started to bite, so that's bad.